You're watching coverage you can count on. This is News Channel 15's First at 5.
Now at 5, picking up the pieces. People all across the Midwest are trying to clean up after a huge outbreak of severe weather yesterday. Good evening, I'm Mark Mellinger.
And I'm Heather Herron. Some of that cleanup is happening right here in Allen County. News Channel 15's Megan Royst joins us live from the southwest side of Fort Wayne. Megan, what kind of damage have you seen there?
Mark and Heather, most of the damage that we found driving around is near the intersection of Hamilton and Coverdale roads. Several barns destroyed, debris on top of homes and fields. Believe it or not, this trailer was once inside of a barn. That barn across the property here on the other side of the barn just completely destroyed. Debris all over in neighboring properties, and the wind traveling at such a high speed that it wrapped some of the sheet metal around trees. Now, other neighbors nearby also had some damage. We caught up with folks who live just a couple houses down. The family who lives there off of Hamilton Road in Allen County just barely missed their barn collapsing in their driveway. They say they had just gotten home and was pulling into their garage as the worst part of the storm hit, and thankfully they were not hurt. You will hear from them coming up live tonight at 6. Reporting live in Allen County, Megan Royst, News Channel 15.
And just outside of our viewing area, Kokomo suffered significant damage from what the National Weather Service has preliminarily classified as an EF2 tornado.
News Channel 15 meteorologist Jesse Hawila was there as people sorted through the devastation.
It's all about picking up the pieces and counting the blessings here in Kokomo. We're going to take you to where some of the most significant damage has taken place. What you're seeing right now is a home that has been completely blown off of its foundation. The car that's sitting in what was the basement was housing a youth group at the time with several teenagers and young adults. And one of those members had her head pinned underneath that car. But good news, she is doing okay. She did suffer from what we hear to be a broken ankle as well as a fractured back, but otherwise she's okay. And this house has more of a story to it. We spoke with the homeowner, Phyllis, who was in Kentucky at the time when she heard the news. She said she lost her husband several years ago, who built this house with his hands, and she said it was like losing her husband all over again.
We'd been married 42 years. This was our first home. He passed away July of 2012, and this was what I had left of him.
So they're going to continue to pick up the pieces here in Kokomo, and one thing we do say for the Wayne viewing area is we got very lucky. Storm motions were moving 70 to 80 miles per hour, and this was only an hour-and-a-half drive from downtown Fort Wayne, so we got very lucky in that aspect. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll have more of the story of Phyllis and why this home meant so much to her. Reporting in Kokomo, Jesse Hawila, News Channel 15.
Governor Mike Pence was also in Kokomo this afternoon, along with Senator Joe Donnelly and Congressman Todd Rokita. Pence toured some of the hardest hit areas in Kokomo. After visiting there, the governor then visited Logansport, Lafayette, and Washington, which all sustained damage.
About 45 minutes northeast of Kokomo is the city of Marion. Folks there are also cleaning up damage from the storm. We sent our own Lamar Holiday to survey just how bad the damage there is. Lamar?
Mark, there was plenty of tree and structure damage, especially in North Marion. We received word from the National Weather Service preliminary reporting late this afternoon that an EF2 tornado did go through parts of Grant County. Crews were out still trying to restore power. These down power lines were along State Road 15 in Marion, just south of 500 North. Along 500 North, people were cleaning up the storm damage, mostly downed and split trees. There was damage to buildings too. On this property, the roof blew off of a shed and flew dozens of feet away from the property. Gilbert Brazin Jr. is a project manager for Kingdom Construction. He says around this time of year, business starts to die down, but after last night's storm, the company's phones have been ringing nonstop.
We've been getting a lot of calls, roofs flying off, shingles flying off, siding just ripping off. There's even homes literally just destroyed where they're going to have to completely rebuild from bottom.
According to the National Weather Service, the tornado went 12 miles starting just west of Marion and ending near the Grant and Wabash County line. About 30 to 40 homes were damaged in the path of that storm. Then another tornado, EF0, was confirmed by the National Weather Service in the town of Roseburg, just southwest of Marion. This morning, people in Marion were cleaning up trees from their front yards and debris from their home. And coming up at 6, you will hear from a couple of them.
All right, we'll talk to you then. Thanks, Lamar.
Well, some of you are still without power this evening after those severe storms. News Channel 15's Gina Glaros joins us from Studio 15 with more on that. Gina.
Heather, well, crews worked tirelessly all day and night to restore power. I spoke with some folks who are still directly affected. Although inconvenient, they say things could have been much worse.
If it weren't for these 3 generators, Bill Nye and his wife would be in the dark.
We headed to the basement, and as we sat in the basement, we could hear things hitting the house. And we stayed down there a while and then ended up coming back up, and the lights had went off while we was down there.
Nye is among more than 5,000 Indiana-Michigan Power customers in Allen County who are still without power. And the company is working to restore about 46,000 of its customers total in the region.
The worst of the damage was not here in Fort Wayne. It was in the South Bend area and in southwest Michigan. Just a number of poles down, wires down, a lot of trees blown into lines.
The southeast side of Fort Wayne was an exception. All 6 radio stations at Federated Media were off air for about 4 hours.
As soon as those winds came through, I mean, it felt like the building was going to get run over by a train. And all of a sudden, all the power just went out, and we were off the air. So then we scrambled, and about 8 o'clock last night, we had a generator in here, and we were back up on the air.
The building itself was closed today. As I speak, crews are still working, first removing hazardous material, assessing all the damage, and now working to get power back. Crews expect to have power 100% restored by noon Wednesday.
We care very much about restoring it as quickly as we can, but it has to be done safely, and we have to go through our process, and we'll get it back on.
We feel very fortunate. It could have been worse. It's just a slight inconvenience for us.
At last check, about 700 NIPSCO customers are still without power. In Studio 15, Gina Glaros, News Channel 15.
A couple roads in Allen County are closed because of storm damage. Here's a map of them. These roads are near the airport. Brand Strader is closed at Brindle and South County Line. Yoder just west of Brand Strader Road and Yoder at Coverdale Road are also closed. County leaders say they're not sure when those roads might reopen.
If you have damage to your property because of the storm yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security would like to hear from you. If you go to this website, indiana.gov/DHS, you can go to the featured topics in the middle of the page. Click on Report Damage from Severe Weather to fill out the form. You'll be asked to provide your name, address, and what type of damage your property sustained.
The storms that impacted northeast Indiana killed several people in Illinois. There were dozens of tornadoes reported in the towns of Pekin and Washington, Illinois. Preliminary reports say an EF4 tornado ripped through Washington. Official estimates are at least 400 homes are destroyed and several more have damage.
My son said, there it is. And in a matter of seconds, he turned around and it was right on top of us. We hustled in the house, and before we knew it, it was gone. It was that fast.
The Illinois National Guard is in Washington to help with the search and recovery efforts there. Now it's time to take a look at what's ahead in the weather with a first look at your forecast.
Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Ferreri joins us now with that.
And what a big change from 24 hours ago in a very good way. Things have calmed down outside, but now that we've had a day since that severe weather, we can really look at the damage across the area, and that's what we have been seeing. This is a map kind of laying it out across the area. Our storm reports from yesterday. What you need to know, the reds represent tornadoes, the blues and yellows, high wind gusts and wind damage reports, the greens, hail damage. Here in our area, it was mainly the high winds, but southwest, where we heard in Grant County, now we're adding additional tornado reports to the map, so even more red pins getting into our area. A very strong severe weather event experienced not only here, but across the entire Midwest yesterday. Now we see clouds still in place, but all the precipitation from yesterday is out of here. All that strong activity is long gone. We will see our winds decrease tonight. The clouds will decrease too, a sign of a much calmer weather pattern setting up here to begin our week. Certainly colder today, 40 degrees our temperature, our winds from the northwest at 10 miles per hour. They've quickly decreased here so far this evening, and that will be a trend that we maintain as we head overnight. Our low by morning time down to 28 degrees. And although it is a chilly start to the week, we have an even colder weather pattern coming in to close up the week. Well, I'll fill you in on that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Nicholas. Fort Wayne police need your help locating a man accused of robbing a bank on the north side of town. Around 9:30 this morning, a man walked into the Star Financial Bank on Lima Road and handed a note to the teller demanding money. Police said the note also said that he was armed. The suspect kept his hand in his coat pocket, though, the whole time. This is the suspect. He left the bank with money in a silver SUV. Witnesses say they saw a white circular sticker in the left side window of the SUV. If you recognize this man, please call police.
A former Allen County commissioner has died. Jack Worthman was 86. He died Thursday. He served as a commissioner for 12 years. The memorial service for Jack Worthman will be Thursday at 2:30 at Plymouth Congregational Church on West Berry in downtown Fort Wayne. Flags at all county-owned buildings are flying at half staff in his honor. Up next, the Supreme Court rules on whether the NSA can keep its surveillance program.
Plus, people in the Philippines are trying to get back to normal following one of the strongest storms ever. When First at 5 returns, we'll let you know what's starting to open back up.
Coverage you can count on continues with Heather Herron and Mark Mellinger.
The NSA will be allowed to continue surveillance of domestic telephone communications, at least for now. This morning, the Supreme Court rejected an appeal from a privacy rights group that was trying to put a stop to the practice. The privacy group does have the option of going back to the lower courts and starting the legal process all over again. Previous lawsuits against the NSA program have also been unsuccessful.
The former South African president is so ill he can no longer speak. Nelson Mandela's ex-wife says tubes are being used to keep his lungs clear from infection. The 95-year-old now uses facial expressions to communicate with his family and his doctors. Mandela's lung problems date back to his imprisonment before becoming the nation's first president in 1994.
Federal investigators are in Colorado today. They're trying to figure out what caused a fatal mine collapse there. The accident killed 2 people and left 20 others hurt. Investigators think the 2 men died from carbon monoxide poisoning. The mine has silver, lead, zinc, copper, and gold in it. Workers there do all the mining underground using drills and blasting methods.
More than a week after a super typhoon slammed into the Philippines, some signs of normalcy are returning. While markets are opening and some gas stations are back up and running, people there still have a long way to go. Officials say the relief effort is now in high gear. Water, food, and medical supplies are pouring into the country. Officials say 5,000 people are dead and hundreds of thousands are homeless.
Nicholas, you've been a busy guy the past few hours, huh?
Yes,
past 24 or
past
so.
24 hours. But luckily, we have seen that storm system get out of here. Now our pattern for this week is a very quiet one. It is a colder one for sure. No more big signs of warm air to fuel storms. We'll fill you in on what's to come for this upcoming work week in the full forecast after this.
Coverage you can count on continues with Chief Meteorologist Nicholas Ferreri's live Doppler 15 Fury forecast.
Here we are headed into late November. Our weather pattern, we want it to change. We want to get the severe weather chances out of the forecast, and the good news is, for the time being, they are. And severe weather in November, especially to the extent that we saw yesterday, is a rare occurrence. Now, we have conditions calming on down. Take a look at our Broadway cam. Of course, the big Christmas tree lighting outside the law offices are shining hard. It happens this Friday, and the tree unharmed. You can see they're getting the decorations, the lights, all up there ready for the big event on Friday. Here we are. The holidays are coming. Can you believe it? Today, we thought we might see a few lake effect snow showers. It was a slight chance, and the best chance remained in Michigan. We just had the clouds roll in. Now for tonight. An area of high pressure is moving in. That's going to take away the clouds. It's also going to decrease the winds. Our temperature now 40 degrees. Big change from yesterday with those highs in the 60s. We only made it to 46 earlier this afternoon. The wind chill of 33 as the winds have remained breezy through the day. From the northwest to 10 miles per hour now. The wind gusts have died down, but we've had wind gusts over 35 miles per hour at times today. And again, as I mentioned, through the night, into the day tomorrow, this gusty pattern, it gets out of here too. 39 in Bryan, now 40 in Paulding, 38 in Columbia City, 43 in Huntington, and 44 in Marion. And through the night, temperatures slide back through the 30s. 38 at 6 tonight, down to 35 at 9. Note how the winds will go from between 10 and 20 miles per hour at 6 o'clock to just down to 5 to 10 miles per hour by 9, and we stay in that range into early morning. Down to the low 30s during the wee morning hours of Tuesday, and by the time you get up and going tomorrow, we'll be down to the upper 20s. 28 our overnight low temperature. No rain out there now. Things have quieted down on our live Doppler 15 Fury storm tracker, and even on the wide view, not much going on. There's all the energy from yesterday off to the east now. We have a clear sky across the plains, a sign of that area of high pressure that's moving in. So that's going to give us a couple of sunny days here. Later in the week, a couple of impulses to watch that will bring us some rain, and we'll get a glimpse of those here on Futurecast in the coming days. For tonight, we start off with some clouds around, but look how they decrease as we head into the early morning hours of Tuesday. Tomorrow starts off with sunshine, and we see plentiful sunshine all day long for the morning, the afternoon, and then at nighttime, a clear sky. Then Wednesday, much the same. Tomorrow, a little chilly, a little chillier than today. But as that high pressure moves east on Wednesday, the sunshine continues, even warmer air moves in. By the end of the day, we'll see a little bit more in terms of cloud cover. That's because by the time Thursday gets here, that's when our next chance at rain arrives. So look for that rain to move in on Thursday morning. So tomorrow, 43. Wednesday, 48. By Thursday, there's that chance at rain. We'll go all the way up to 50. 45 on Friday, some rain possible. Then those couple systems at the end of the week will help draw in colder air. The temperatures drop by a great deal by the weekend. 30s on Saturday, 20s on Sunday. It's going to be cold.
I was watching from home yesterday. I must tell you, you and the other 3 meteorologists on our team did a fabulous job keeping us up to date without alarming us, scaring people about the storms that were moving in. But I know not everybody was happy.
Not everybody was happy, but I thank you for those compliments. When it's a life-threatening situation, as it was yesterday, that is what we are here to do, to keep you safe. We know the Bears fans weren't all that happy with me, as you can see from those words on the screen, but many of you were, and you sent along your compliments. So we thank you for that. I mean, we're here watching 24 hours a day to make sure when this happens, we are here to alert you. Serve the public interest, convenience, and necessity, as our friends at the FCC would tell us is our duty as broadcasters. A busy day, but we were very glad to be here and be able to deliver that information to everybody.
Yeah. And we did get it there in time for the 4th quarter and overtime of the freaking Bears game.
Yes.
So that was good.
There you go.
Thank goodness.
Yes, thank you.
Still to come here on First at 5, stories for your well-being.
Research shows just a little CPR training can help save a life. Plus, doctors say long-term birth control usage can have an effect on your vision later in life.
Coverage you can count on continues with Heather Herron and Mark Mellinger.
We all know learning CPR can save lives, but just how much do you need to know? A new study says not much at all.
This tops today's stories for your well-being. The new research says just 1 minute of CPR training could help in an emergency. The American Heart Association studied people's response to a simulated sudden collapse. Researchers found those who watched a short teaching video beforehand were faster to respond and to start chest compressions.
Birth control usage could be leading to women losing their vision. The research says women who used birth control pills for 3 years or more had twice the risk of developing glaucoma in their later years as other women. Researchers looked at data on more than 3,400 women 40 and older from across the country. The study's authors say there needs to be more research on this topic.
Physical activity can help people with heart disease. Researchers at Johns Hopkins University found higher levels of physical fitness can lower the risk of a heart attack in patients with heart disease. The authors encourage doctors to recommend exercise in addition to medication to increase survival after coronary artery disease.
Up next, Nicholas will have one last check of your 7-day planner. Get ready for some cold weather.
That's right. You've noticed it's already chilly as we start off the week, but even colder air arrives at the end of the week. 43 tomorrow with sunshine, 48 on Wednesday. Rain will become possible on Thursday and Friday as a couple weather systems move through. We do make it to 50 on Thursday, then down to 45 on Friday. The really cold air waits till the weekend to arrive. Saturday could see some of that rain changing over to some snow showers, 36, 28 on Sunday. Those lows in the teens over the weekend.
Okay. Thank you, Nicholas.
That's it from us for now. We'll see you at 6.
Good night.